One day, there was a very desperate boy named Yuya, and he felt that the world did not welcome him, and despite that he always wished for a chance to help anyone, and one time while he was heading home from school, he saw 3 men surrounding a girl and harassing her, so he approached them with extreme fear and in a low voice told them to stop. But the moment they looked at him they started mocking him, because he was very fat. So he told them that girl does not seem to like what you are doing. So they got annoyed by his words and by the look of challenge in his eyes, even though he was very scared. So they all beat him while the girl was shocked and unable to do anything, until they heard the sound of the police, so they quickly ran away. And the girl approached Yuya and asked him, "Are you okay?" So he stood up with complete despair and indifference and told her, "Yeah," and walked away. And on his way he remembered his grandfather's words when he told him that we must treat people in need with kindness. And that requires great courage, and Yuya reached home, while thinking about his ugly appearance that bothered the people around him, and his memories at school passed through his mind while all the kids bullied him. And even his parents hated him, and did not treat him like his younger brother and sister, because they were more beautiful than him. And when he reached middle school the cruelty of the bullies toward him increased. But his grandfather was the only one who treated him kindly, so Yuya looked sadly at his grandfather's picture, and remembered when he told him no matter what problems you face do not let them defeat you. And even if situations are difficult treat people kindly so happiness can find its way to you. And do not rush. Take your time while facing yourself. And he remembered the day his grandfather died and how much he cried for him. And after that he learned that his grandfather left him his house and possessions. And his father and mother tried many times to take everything from him, but his grandfather's main job did not allow them to take anything. And when they lost hope they left him alone in the house, as if he was not their son, and since then he has been living alone in his grandfather's house and working part-time jobs. And on the next day Yuya went to school, and when he opened his notebook he found people had written bad words in it. And suddenly someone came from behind him and knocked him to the ground. And it was one of the bullies named Araki, and he told him, "Do you think that just because you graduated from middle school you escaped from me? You will stay under my mercy forever." So he told them, "I have to go to work," and they got angry and beat him until sunset. And when he went to work his manager got angry at him, because he was late, and told him, "I already called your replacement anyway, so do not come to work again." So Yuya returned home, and looked at himself in the mirror, and felt extremely pathetic and cried, and punched the mirror breaking it. And after that he punched the wall, and suddenly a secret door opened, and he found all his grandfather's possessions there. And he noticed there was another door inside, so he remembered that his grandfather always traveled and returned carrying souvenirs, and concluded that he used to store them here. And when he opened the door inside a status screen like games appeared before him, and he found written on it obtained the title of first trip to another world. So he looked again at the room from his own world, and found it still there, and a screen appeared before him written on it a door to another world. And it is a door that suddenly appears on a planet and nobody knows the reason for its appearance. And even the destination is not determined. But once it connects to another world the owner of the door can benefit from its features, and the door never gets destroyed. And the features menu opened before him, and he found amazing things in it, like asset conversion, but he did not understand its purpose, and like transportation which allows him to move the world door to the current location of the owner. And the acceptance restriction feature that allows the owner to choose certain people to enter through the door. And after that another screen opened showing his stats, and he was shocked that he was still level 1. But he read in the instructions that when his level rises he gains 10 points, and if the person is from another world he gains 20 points, and if it is the first time entering he receives 100 points, and can distribute those points to his stats to increase his abilities. And after that he explored the place and opened the window in front of him and found a completely different world from his own world. And he found a paper on the table written in a strange language that he could not understand. So the language comprehension feature appeared, and he was able to read that this house belonged to a person who was close to death, so he left the ownership rights of the house and everything inside it to whoever found it. And he read since ownership rights will update automatically through magic. Entry for anyone other than the owner is forbidden, so Yuya called him Sage because he was a wizard. And he found an incredibly dazzling sword, so a screen appeared before him written on it that this was the Omni sword, and it would always shine and never break no matter what happened, and nobody except the owner could use it, and it was not for sale. And when Yuya stepped out from the house door he wondered, is everything around me part of my house? So, a screen appeared before him written on it, everything inside the fence is the owner's land. So Yuya ran to try the sword, but he fell because of its weight, and a message appeared before him saying swordsmanship skill obtained. And after that he found the absolute spear which could pierce anything and never break, and when thrown it returns again to the owner. And after it he found the Scythe of Death, which is a magnificent scythe capable of cutting anything, and he found the unbreakable infinite gloves, which increase the strength of the owner's punches, and after that he found the void bow, which has no physical form, and produces an infinite number of bows according to the owner's desire, and its arrows hit anything the owner wants. And after he tried them all, a martial arts skills screen appeared to him, and he opened a portal where he placed the weapons and could summon them anytime and from anywhere. And suddenly a gigantic ghoul appeared and ran toward him, but crashed into the barrier surrounding the house, because nobody except the owner could enter. So Yuya became terrified until he realized that it would not be able to enter at all, and the ghoul pulled out a tree and tried throwing it at him, but it still could not pass through the barrier. So Yuya calmed down a little and gathered his courage and threw his spear at it. So the spear pierced through it and the ghoul died and the spear returned again. And Yuya went down to the ground unable to believe that he managed to defeat a ghoul of that level. And when the monster disappeared, Yuya's level increased. And he found loot in the monster's place like the Great Ghoul Fang and a rank B magic stone and the ghoul's gloves and armor. And Yuya decided that this was enough for today. And before he passed through the door, an asset conversion screen appeared before him, and suddenly money from his original world appeared before him in exchange for the Ghoul Fang and the magic stone that he found. And here he realized the function of asset conversion and became extremely amazed by it, and he would not have to work for anyone else anymore. And at night, while he was sleeping, he felt extremely severe pain throughout his entire body and huge changes happened to him. And on the next day he woke up and found that he had muscles and his clothes had become very large on him and his skin was different. So he ran to the bathroom mirror, but remembered that he broke it, and he could not find clothes to wear, so he went to the other world and found pants and a shirt made of royal silk that automatically adjusted to fit whoever wore them and maintained temperature and never became dirty. And shoes made from dragon leather that made whoever wore them never feel exhausted while walking and running. And he went out to the garden and found many plants, so he watered them. And he found a plant that healed absolutely everything and could cure blindness or even severed limbs. And even all the remaining plants had traits and features that increased offensive and defensive abilities. And Yuya had become used to monster attacks, so when a monster attacked, he was not afraid of it. And he threw the spear at it and killed it and discovered that it could be eaten and that it was jelly with a coffee flavor. And he looked at the ground and saw a rare necklace that increased the user's stats and converted sunlight into magical energy. So Yuya wore it and his level increased more, and he used asset conversion and decided to go tailor new school clothes. And he returned again to the plants and picked some fruits to make food with them. And despite that, he thought about the day he would return to school and the bullies and felt that he was still afraid of them, even though he fought monsters in the other world. And around sunset he found an ogre at the fence, so he went to stab it with the spear, but it blocked the attack and countered it. So Yuya avoided its strike and charged his energy, and blew up its head with the spear. And he said to himself, but no matter how much my level increases in this world, I still do not know what I will do tomorrow at school. And on the next day Yuya went to school, and was surprised that all the looks of contempt had turned into looks of admiration, and everyone was talking about his handsome appearance to the point that they thought he was a fashion model. And when Yuya arrived at his classroom, the bullies gathered around him, so he became terrified. And they asked him, are you new here? So he told them, I am Yuya Tenju. And the whole class became shocked, and the bullies told him impossible, that stupid fat guy could be you. So Yuya ran to the bathroom and looked in the mirror and was shocked that his appearance had completely changed. And after that a very luxurious car arrived and a girl stepped out of it, and everyone became amazed by her beauty. And she asked while looking at Yuya, are you Yuya Tenju, right? So he told her, yeah. And she asked him, did you lose weight? So Yuya became confused, and the girl laughed and told him, you definitely do not remember me. I am the girl you saved near the grocery store when those 3 men were surrounding me. So Yuya became surprised and asked her, how did you know my name? So she replied, I wanted to thank you. And even though it was rude behavior, I investigated about you. And she asked him, what do you think about coming with me to Osei Academy? So Yuya became shocked, and everyone around him became stunned, including Yuta and Sora, Yuya's siblings, and they realized that she was actually wearing the official uniform of Osei Academy. And Yuya asked her, you mean that super elite school? So she apologized to him for not introducing herself and told him, I am Hoju Kari, and I am an executive member of the student council at Osei Academy. And her driver butler told him Kari's father is the chairman of Osei. And when he heard that you saved Kari from the delinquents, he said that he wants you to come to Osei. So Yuya replied in surprise, but I did not really save her and I appreciate this offer, but I do not have the academic qualifications to enroll at Osei. So Yuta replied, could you let us enroll instead of that stupid person? We are more outstanding than him. So Kari refused and angrily told them I am grateful to Yuya and I definitely will not allow anyone who insults him to enroll in the academy. And besides I investigated you and I know what you are doing. So they dropped to their knees and Kari told Yuya this answers your words. Osei Academy cares more about strength of character than academic ability, so there is absolutely no problem with you enrolling. And Butler suggested that she take Yuya and continue their discussion at Osei and give him a tour. So Kari pulled him by his hand and they got into the car and left while all his classmates became jealous of him. And Yuya got angry and said we will get revenge. And when Yuya arrived at Osei he became amazed by its beauty and understood why it was famous. And he went to meet Kari's father in his office. And he introduced himself and told him I am the academy director Hujo Tsukasa. And Kari told me about you. And Yuya bowed and thanked him for saving Kari. So Yuya became embarrassed and told him do not bow. And Kari told him everyone there ignored what was happening to me and you were the only one who tried to do something. And Tsukasa told him you should be proud of what you did. Because that is proof of the great character that we value very much at our school. And he asked Yuya to enroll in the academy and continue his studies there. And he told him, and since this is a token of gratitude for saving my daughter, then do not worry about the tuition fees. And despite that, Yuya felt that someone like him did not belong in a school like this, because he was not a genius. So Tsukasa replied, from my point of view a genius is a person who when given a task can find a way to direct his efforts faster than the others, but he resembles normal people in every other aspect. And more important than all of that is hard work. So Yuya asked him in surprise, are natural talents not more important than effort? So he replied, every person has their own talents. And it is not necessary for you to know your talents while you are still at this age. The important thing is that you challenge yourself. Take your time and start facing yourself. So Yuya's eyes shined because he was hearing the same words that he used to hear from his grandfather. And teacher Sawada entered to meet them and Tsukasa introduced Yuya to her. So she told him there is no need to be nervous, I will teach you everything that you need to learn. And Yuya went to the classroom door and became afraid to enter, because he did not want to feel that his appearance was strange among them, but he decided to challenge himself and enter. And Yuya introduced himself but found everyone in front of him shocked, so he thought that his appearance was strange, but all of them were saying in their minds that he was very handsome and shocked by his amazing appearance. And Tenju entered and sat down and Sawada told them open your books. And she told Yuya ask Yudo, who is sitting beside you to show you from her book. So Haida moved closer to him. So he greeted her and she greeted him back and despite that he still felt that she hated him. And after that he noticed that the lessons in this school were not very different from the lessons that he was used to. But the difference here was that the students were more interactive and that was something he had never seen before. And during break time all the students gathered around him and excitedly asked him what school did you come from and are you in any club or not? Are you a pop star? So Yuya became nervous and could not answer them. And a person appeared and told them let him relax and eat lunch first. So they apologized to him and left, and the boy told him, sorry they are a little curious including me. My name is Agarashi Ryu. So Yuya became amazed by his incredible aura and Ryo offered to go eat lunch together in the cafeteria. And Yuya was surprised that the prices there were very good, and he could buy many things for a cheap price. And after that someone named Shingo called out to Ryu. So they went to sit with him and Shingo introduced himself to Yuya, and Yuya was surprised that both of them followed anime so he got along with them. And Yuya noticed that the students were looking at him, and thought it was because he was wearing clothes different from them. So Rai told him it is not your clothes it is your face. And after that they talked about clubs and he learned that Ryu was in a club called Going Home, and that was because he was skilled in every sport, and could not choose only one sport so he joined that club to face challenges. And Shingo was in the gaming club. And around sunset Yuya went to Tsukasa's office and he asked him what do you think about the school? So Yuya replied amazing, and what amazed me is that all the students here are truly enjoying themselves. And he said to himself and everyone treated me like a human and one of them. And Yuya asked him are you sure that you want someone like me here? So he told him that is something you have to decide for yourself. But I think that you are very suitable. So Yuya agreed with complete excitement. And when he left the office he found Kari and she asked him what did you decide to do? So he told her I am not very confident but I will continue here. And she asked him if he was free now and asked him if they could go out together. And Yuya became amazed by the area he was in and by its liveliness and modern atmosphere. And on the way he asked her, do you come here with your friends? So she told him unfortunately I do not have time to go out with people because of my family and my father's work so they feel reserved when dealing with me. But I felt that I wanted to try something with you. So Yuya became shy and found a restaurant beside them and told her come let's try it. And both of them enjoyed themselves together. And Yuya asked her how did you know it was me when you saw me even though my appearance changed from before? So she told him, your eyes are still the same, so I recognized you when I saw them. Your honest and kind eyes are still the same. And she became annoyed that he called her Huju and asked him to call her by her first name. So he called her Kori, and they continued enjoying themselves while people saw that they were very cute together. And after that he returned home and decided to wear the Ghoul armor and enter the other world, because he had been busy during the past 2 days and would become even busier later. And he noticed that he was still afraid of monsters but decided to face and fight in order to kill the fear inside him. And he reached level 235 and saw that he was developing more slowly than before. So he decided to leave the house area and enter the forest in order to fight more monsters. And suddenly he heard the sound of screaming, so he quickly ran toward it. And he found a group of guards dead while an ogre was eating them. And he saw a girl who looked extremely scared, and the ogre left her and approached him. So Yuya became surprised that there were actually other humans in this world. And he threw his spear at the ogre, but it blocked it. So Yuya descended on it with his leg, and grabbed his spear again, and the girl warned him about what was behind him. So Yuya was surprised by the second ogre's strike, but he could not avoid the next attack, and it sent him flying. So he got up and ran quickly, and used the spear in order to jump to a great height, and pulled out his bow and fired at the ogre. And after that he quickly pulled out the sword, and cut the ogre into 2 halves, but the girl lost consciousness. And on the next day Yuya was at his house, and wondering whether the girl was okay or not, and he remembered that some guards came to take her. And he decided to go buy some clothes since he had money, and he thought that the clothes he was wearing did not get dirty, but he did not want to wear the same clothes every day. And on his way he noticed that all the people were staring at him, so he hid his face, because he thought they saw him as strange, even though the situation was completely the opposite, and they were amazed by him. And on the other side, a photographer, named Hikaru, was extremely angry at his manager, because the one who would play the role of the boyfriend was very late, and this was not the first time he had been late. So the manager apologized to him, and received a call learning that Sho, who would play the role of the boyfriend, was coming on the way. So Hikaru became even angrier that he did not speak with him personally, and angrily told him, this photo shoot is about me and my attractive boyfriend during a lovely week of shopping in a fashion district. Meaning without a boyfriend there is no photo shoot. And he pointed at Miu, who would play the role of the girlfriend, and told him she has been ready since morning. And he thought about another solution, and decided that they should find a random person from the shopping center to play the role, and they began searching for a suitable person. And at the same time Yuya was in a store and trying to choose clothes that suited him, and on his way Hikaru saw him and his eyes shined, and he told him, I found the perfect person. And he went to Yuya and nervously explained the situation to him, and made him understand that they were in trouble. So Yuya decided to help, and Hikaru started the photo shoot. And Miu told Yuya, you saved us because this was the only free time among everyone's schedules, and we would not have been able to shoot at all. And at the same time in the other world the princess, whom Yuya saved from the ogre, was in her room, and she was thinking about Yuya and went out. So the guards asked her in surprise, where are you going? So she told them, I will return to the forest again. I must thank the person who saved me. So they all became surprised and told her, but nobody even lives there. But she insisted and told them, as a member of the royal family, I cannot hide my gratitude toward the person who saved me. And she ordered them to go with her in order to protect her. And on the other side Yuya became tired from the photo shoot, and they took a break. And Miu apologized to him for dragging him into everything that happened. And Yuya coughed, so she gave him her handkerchief. And then he told her, I discovered today how difficult the work of a fashion model is. You are truly amazing, Miu. So she replied, no, I am just used to it. At first I did nothing except make mistakes, and many people got angry at me. So he told her, even I never wore clothes like these before, nor was I ever in a position that allowed me to do that. And my life had nothing to do with fashion. So even if I saw fashion models in different fields and places, this world is still very different from my own world, and I never thought about it at all. But this world seems glamorous at first glance. And the truth is that all the fashion models and staff members truly work hard behind the scenes. And he asked her, why did you become a fashion model? So she told him, I do not know. Maybe because I wanted people to notice me. My father and mother were always busy and I did not spend much time with them. So I started this job because I wanted them to notice me. And even though I am not very impressive, I still have fans. And the people who said they supported me and sent me messages were happy. And that made me very happy. And if they became interested in fashion because of me or discovered the path they wanted to follow, then I thought that would be something wonderful. And if you seize every moment as it is and enjoy it as much as possible, then I think every one of those moments will become encouragement for you. And there is no need to rush, take your time. So he asked her, do you think I can do it? And she replied of course, and both of them laughed together, and Hikaru photographed them. And suddenly Sho arrived, and all the girls watching the photo shoot became amazed by his handsome appearance. And Yuya asked, "Who is that?" So Miu replied, "That is the person who was supposed to shoot with me." And Sho approached Miu, and she became annoyed by him, and he told her, "Sorry for being late on you. Let's finish the shoot and go have lunch." So she moved away from him, and suddenly he cornered her and bothered her. So Yuya stopped him and told him, "She does not seem to like what you are doing." So he asked him with contempt, "And who are you?" And Yuya noticed that he stepped on Miu's handkerchief, and suddenly he threw a punch at Yuya, so Yuya caught him and flipped him onto the ground. And Yuya became surprised that his movements were slow compared to him, and he realized what he had done and started being afraid that people would scold him because he was ugly and hit a handsome guy. But the opposite happened, and everyone became amazed by him, and Sho stood up and said, "How did that happen?" "I practice boxing." So Hikaru told him, "Everything that you did was recorded. Leave here immediately." So Sho and his manager ran away, and Miu thanked Yuya for defending her, and she told Hikaru, "I feel relieved now. Recently he had been following me and I did not know what to do." So Hikaru apologized to her because he did not notice the matter and told her, "I will take legal action against him." And he offered Yuya to continue working with them and sign a contract to become a fashion model. So Yuya thanked him for that offer and told him, "Today was a very precious experience for me, but I feel that I will not be able to do this efficiently, and I will not give the job the dedication it deserves." And Hikaru respected his decision and gave him many clothes as a gift for saving them. And Hikaru, while heading home, told Miu, "What a shame. I was sure that he would become a star quickly, but it seems that he is not interested in the entertainment industry." So she told him, "But he was one of a kind, and I wish I could work with him again." And she looked through her photos with him, so Hikaru noticed that her face was red. And Yuya returned home and decided to go to the other world. And on the other side, Princess Lexia and the guards were fighting ogres in the forest. One of the ogres was about to kill the princess, and suddenly Yuya appeared and split it into two halves, and eliminated the remaining ogres one after another. And after that he healed the injured guards. And suddenly the princess silenced all of them and approached Yuya, and told him, "I came here to tell you something. Would you marry me?" So all the soldiers became shocked, and the captain of the guards, Owen, asked her, "What are you thinking about? Do you not realize your status?" And he told her, "He already saved you, but we know nothing about him." So she replied angrily, "This is love at first sight. Do you have a problem with that? You are only my guard. Do not tell me what to do and what not to do." So Yuya interrupted them, and told them, "We will not be safe here if more monsters appear," and asked them to come with him to the house. So they became shocked that he lived in this forest among the monsters. And when they went to the house, Owen told him, "Sorry, we did not introduce ourselves. I am the captain of the Knights of the Arcelia Kingdom, Owen." And the princess stood up and respectfully and politely told him, "I am the first princess of the Arcelia Kingdom, Lexia von Arcelia," and she thanked him for saving her from danger twice. So Yuya became afraid because she was a princess and asked them, "Will I be okay after the way I spoke to the princess?" So Owen told him, "Do not worry, there is no problem. This is an unofficial visit and we are indebted to you." So Yuya introduced himself to them, and they noticed that his name was strange in the kingdom and uncommon, and the princess thought that he was a noble from another country. So Owen whispered to her, "We still do not know. He could be a wandering wizard because of his research." So she whispered to him he could actually be from a royal family. But Owen warned her about him and thought that he might be a spy. And he told Yuya, "We came here again because we were searching for you." And Lexia told him, "I came because I wanted to thank you because I lost consciousness and could not thank you. But the moment I saw you again, since the day you saved me, my heart has been beating quickly. And because of that I am asking you to marry me." So Yuya became nervous and told her, "This matter is sudden for me." So she told him, "I understand. Of course our love cannot be that simple. That must be what you mean, because that is what is written in all romantic novels. And love is always filled with obstacles." And she asked him, "Then can we be friends?" So Yuya agreed, and Owen said that means Lexia's gratitude was delivered successfully. "But there is something else. The king himself wants to thank you for saving his daughter, so you must come to the palace." And Yuya hesitated, so Owen told him, "Since this is a royal order, then I must carry it out." So Yuya agreed, and Owen told him, "We will need 5 days from you for the travel and meeting." So Yuya asked him to postpone it to another day, because of his life in his original world, and Owen agreed and told him, "We will wait for you to decide the day." And at the same time a person became angry at one of his subordinates, and asked him, "You failed again." So he replied, "The group of hired assassins that we sent to kill Lexia all disappeared in the forest. And they probably encountered powerful monsters and were wiped out." So he asked him then, "Why is Lexia still alive and survived those monsters?" So he told him, "I still have not learned that information." So he told him, "Enough. Leave, but you will not get another chance." And on the next day Yuya went to school and watched Ryu's soccer match, and became very amazed by him, because he knew how to play. And a girl approached him and told him Ryu is amazing. The side he is on always wins and the side against him always has bad luck. And she sat beside him and told him I am Kazama Kid, and asked him to call her by her first name. So he told her I am happy that I met you Cade. And all the players surrounded Ryu, so that he could not pass through, so he passed the ball and it reached Akira, who approached the goal and kicked it with all his strength, but it went outside and was about to hit Cade. So Yuya moved quickly and kicked the ball, and it entered the goal powerfully, so the referee became shocked and all the students became amazed, but he did not pay attention to them and checked on Kitty, and Akira ran toward her and apologized to her for that mistake. And then Ryo introduced Yuya to Akira and told him he is strange but kind and you will like him over time. And Akira thanked Yuya for saving the situation. And after that Kari entered the changing room and heard all the girls talking about Yuya and the amazing move that he did. And Kate approached her excitedly and told her about it, but Kari did not understand anything from her. So Haidu explained it to her, and the other girls started wondering whether he had a girlfriend or not. So Kari and Cade became annoyed. And Kari went to her physical training class while Yuya was in his classroom. So she looked through the window and waved to him and he waved back to her. And suddenly a motorcycle gang stormed the school, and the girls became very scared. So Yuya's classroom teacher told them wait here and do not move and went out to see what was happening. One of the students said those are the Red Ogre's gang and they are the most dangerous delinquents in this area. And Kari stood in front of them and asked them why did you come to our school? And the ones behind what was happening were Yuta and Sora, and they came to get revenge. So Kari asked them, what is the purpose of what you are doing? And Yuta replied mockingly, so we can enjoy messing around with you. You are the superior elite who let our stupid brother enter Osei Academy. So she told them the police are coming and they must stop what they are doing. And they replied, but the police will take time before they arrive here, so we can do many things before they get here. And Sora told her, like kidnapping you for example. So Araki told them the police will be very troublesome, it is better if we kidnap her and leave here quickly. And they gathered around Kari, so Yuya decided to move, but became surprised that his legs were shaking, and that he was afraid of them, even though he defeated many monsters stronger than them. So he became upset and extremely angry that his body had become stronger than before, but his heart was still weak. So he punched himself in the face strongly in order to wake himself up, and he opened the window and jumped from the 4th floor, so the entire gang looked at him in surprise, and he ran with incredible speed toward Araki, so the whole gang ran toward him and quickly he passed all of them, and sent their weapons flying from their hands, and Araki attacked him with a baseball bat so Yuya avoided him and told him I am in a hurry. And before he reached Kari, a very huge person named Omori appeared before him, and attacked Yuya with all his strength, and became shocked that Yuya stopped him with his hand. So Yuya released him and he flew and crashed into the motorcycle, so the rest of the gang became afraid and moved away from him, and Yuya reached Kari and checked on her. Then the leader of the Red Ogres rode a motorcycle and rushed at full speed toward Yuya. And Yuya avoided him again and suddenly Yuya jumped to an extremely high height, and the leader became distracted so he crashed into the stairs at maximum speed, and the motorcycle exploded. And at the same moment the police arrived and arrested the criminals, and all the students returned to their classrooms, and Yuta became extremely angry, and said the Red Ogres are useless. So the gang leader grabbed him by the neck, and told him you are the reason behind everything that happened, and you are the one who planned all of this. And Sora tried to defend him so the leader kicked her. And here Yuya intervened and grabbed the leader's hand strongly so he released him. And the leader became very angry and ran toward Yuya. But from one terrifying look from Yuya the leader stopped in place out of fear. And after that Yuta asked Yuya, why did you save me from him after I tortured you so much? So Yuya replied, it is true that I went through many painful times. And I will not forgive you for everything that you did to me. But I will never abandon my family. So both of them cried and dropped to their knees apologizing to him. And on the next day Yuya wore the armor and opened the door to the other world, and remembered when Owen told him, you do not seem to know what kind of place you are living in, but this is one of the worst and darkest regions among all the dangerous lands. And it is said to have the highest danger level, and the monsters that you defeated easily are at a level capable of destroying a huge city. And there is no doubt that those monsters live in this region, so Yuya wondered why the sage was living here. And he became surprised that he was killing the monsters very easily as usual, because he thought that if he went deeper into the forest he would find stronger monsters, and he decided to return to his own world already. But he heard the sound of an animal screaming, and when he went there he found a giant orc brutally beating a small wolf, and he became shocked by the extremely high power level of the orc, so he decided not to interfere. But he could not endure the sound of the wolf screaming and gathered his courage. And he pulled out his spear and sword and threw the spear at it to distract it and attacked with the sword. but the surprise was that his spear killed it very easily. So he remembered that when he was only level 1 a giant high-level ghoul attacked him, and when he threw the spear at it he killed it easily as well. So he wondered how the sage created these weapons, and he took out a bottle of water mixed with the healing herb that he had in the garden, but the wolf was afraid of him and did not feel safe, so Yuya reassured him that there was no danger and that he would not hurt him, and suddenly the wolf lost consciousness. So Yuya made him drink the medicine and his wounds healed and he woke up again, and Yuya asked him, "Are you lost?" So he gestured no. So he asked him, "Did your father and mother abandon you?" So he nodded yes, and Yuya decided to name him Knight and take him home with him. And a new skill called monster taming appeared before him, and the wolf's power appeared before him, and he became amazed by his strength. And after that he collected the loot from the monsters that he defeated, and among them he found the king's hairbrush, which was a rare item that nourished the hair and made it very soft, and also cured baldness and had a high price among nobles. So he tried it on Knight, and indeed his fur became much better. And after that he noticed that his level still did not rise even though he defeated a much stronger opponent this time. And on the next day Yuya went to school and asked his friends about a pet shop for Knight. So Cade became excited and asked him, "Do you have a picture of Knight?" So he told her, "No, I do not even have a phone." So they all became surprised. How does a person in the modern era not have a phone? So he told them, "I never felt before that I needed one." And they guided him to the location of the pet shop but apologized to him because they would not be free to go with him. So Cade suggested that she go with him since she was free. And around sunset Yuya returned home after buying some things for Knight and showed him the collar that Cade personally chose for him. And then Yuya explained to him that he only needed to wear the collar if they went out for a walk so people would not become afraid. And they tried going out together and all the people had their eyes on them and were amazed by their beauty. And on the way he met Kari by coincidence and introduced Knight to her, so she loved him very much. And they attracted people's attention even more because Kari was also very beautiful. And suddenly Miu appeared as well and greeted Yuya, and he introduced her to Kari and Knight. So all the people became shocked when they found Miu with them because she was very famous, and Miu said goodbye to them because she noticed that she attracted attention. And after Miu left, Kari asked Yuya sadly, "Is she your girlfriend?" So he told her, "No, I only met her by coincidence once." And suddenly they heard the sound of an old woman screaming because a thief stole her bag. So Yuya asked Knight to chase him, and took Kari and went to the old woman to check on her and told her, "Do not worry." And Knight arrived dragging the thief behind him. So Yuya told Kari, "Call the police." And suddenly the thief escaped from Knight and ran toward Kari with a knife, so that she would not call the police. So Yuya grabbed his hand and twisted it and pinned him to the ground. So all the people became amazed and applauded him, and they handed the thief over to the police. And on the next day Yuya entered the other world and decided to go deeper into the forest. And this time he and Knight fought together and defeated the ogres, and predatory monsters appeared, so Knight distracted them while Yuya cut them down. And after that a very huge and fast orc appeared. So Knight ran toward it, and bit it and defeated it alone. And they continued their path, and Yuya spotted a deer with 2 very strange horns. So it appeared before him that it was a level 630 monster and stronger than the Orc King. And suddenly Yuya noticed that he had hidden himself, but Knight was not hidden. So the monster heard his voice and cautiously approached them. So Yuya decided to attack it. So the monster screamed and Knight pounced on it, but it blocked his strike with one of its horns. And before Yuya interfered, he found the monster's horn launching fire magic. And after that he discovered that the monster used 2 elements, not 1 element, and launched a projectile at them with both elements. So Yuya told Knight, "Create an opening for me." So Knight jumped across the trees with incredible speed, and the monster focused on him, and launched energy balls at him randomly. And quickly Knight cut part of its shoulder, and quickly Yuya stabbed the monster in the same place, so they defeated it. And Yuya found a strange cube in the loot. And it appeared before him that it was a portable bath set. So he tried activating it and found a hot bath in front of him like hot springs. So they decided that this was enough and returned home to try the hot bath. And on the next day they fought a very fast monster, so they were forced to dodge it until it crashed into a tree, and Yuya took the opportunity and stabbed it with the sword. So Yuya's level increased and he gained new skills. And suddenly a cave opened before them, so they entered it. And Yuya searched with the radar for any signal of a living creature and found none. And suddenly they found a corpse in front of them, and found a book written on it, the Sage's Book. And Yuya read in the book, "I managed to do everything in this world. Magic and martial arts and swordsmanship, and cooking and singing and drawing. I managed to do everything, and because of that I entered the world of the Great Ones. But I refused the invitation of the Great Ones who became my friends, and the power that you possess is much greater than what you know, and someday people will begin to fear you because of it, just like they feared me, and I do not want your life to become like mine." So Yuya wondered then, what am I supposed to do so people do not fear me? And suddenly he heard a voice telling him what you must do is build relationships with people you can trust, whether they are friends or loved ones or your family. Search for people who will stand beside you during difficult times. So Yuya said, I am a person who never had friends his whole life until recently. So this is a huge obstacle that I must overcome. So he heard the voice again telling him it seems like a difficult matter. And he read, then you must gain friends in your own way. And one last thing I will write in this book, the one thing that you want to know. So Yuya tried to guess and said, maybe magic. So the book glowed and Yuya heard the voice telling him, I tried to write in it everything I know about magic. But a visitor from another world, like you, definitely does not have magic pathways. Meaning you will not be able to use magic. The people of this world possess magical energy in their hearts. And it travels through their veins and throughout their bodies. And since you do not possess that power, I will give you my magic pathways. And these pathways are very valuable in this world. And instead of watching them disappear, I will give them to you to use. So over time, if you become worthy of this power and live a life you can be proud of, then that is enough. And letters came out from the book and entered inside Yuya, and the sage wished him a happy life unlike the one he lived. And on the next day he read the basics of magic, and magic is the embodiment of a person's imagination. But without magical energy that works as a source, you will not be able to use magic. So start by training to sense magical energy. So Yuya tried and actually sensed it. And he read, once you confirm the nature of the magic pathways, the rest is simple. Gather magical energy in the palm of your hand and imagine the magic that you want to summon. And if you customize your magic yourself, without relying on another person's spells, it will become easier for you to summon it when you need it. So Yuya went down from the house and tried to create a water ball and succeeded, and likewise Knight tried with him and managed to use magic. And they launched water balls at the same time toward a tree and became surprised that it was destroyed. And on the other side the king asked, Owen, did you manage to meet the young man that I told you about? So he replied, yes. And just like Lexia said, we managed to communicate in the darkest depths. And it seems that he is from another world and his name is very strange to us. And most likely his appearance will greatly increase in the kingdom. And I hope you advise Lexia regarding the marriage proposal that she offered to that young man. And suddenly he realized that he said something he should not have said, and the king became extremely angry and grabbed his sword, destroying the palace. Because he thought Yuya was the one who forced her to do that. And at the same time Yuya was at school and teacher Sawada told them that next week they would do an off-campus study trip. So Yuya became surprised because he did not receive next week's schedule. So Hayato told him that is because we are going to improve our ability to adapt to different environments. So we will camp for 2 or 3 nights, and the teacher continued and divided them into teams consisting of 4 people. And Kade became very excited that she would be on the same team as Yuya, and Akira as well. And a girl approached them and told Yuya, I am Kanzaki Rin, and I will be with you on the team. And Yuya remembered that he did not have a backpack for the trip, and told them my grandfather loved traveling very much, so if I search I will definitely find many bags. But Kade suggested that they go buy a new one together. So they went to meet Kari, and Ryo became surprised that she was Yuya's friend. And Rin and Shingo had their mouths open from the shock that they were casually walking with Kari. But Kari told them, my father is the important one. Do not treat me formally. They all went to the shopping center and searched for a good bag for Yuya. And Yuya bought the one that Kari chose. And after that they decided to enjoy themselves a little since they finished shopping. So they went to the arcade floor and Shingo saw a game that he liked very much, and in order to win it he had to move the claw and pull it out from the machine. So Yuya told him, let me try. And he used the enhanced perception skill and determined the place where the claw had to grab the toy so it would not fall, and succeeded from the first attempt. So they all became amazed by him, and Kade pointed him toward another claw machine and told him, I want that doll. So he did the same thing again and got her the doll. So they asked him, how do you do that? And he was forced to tell them it was just luck, because nobody could know about the skills that he gained from the other world. So they made him get something for each one of them from the claw machine. So he became very happy that he managed to make them happy with something simple like this. And after that they separated and the girls went up to the fashion section, while the others went down to wait for them in the cafe below. And at the same time one of the wires behind the wall was cut. And on the other side Yuya was greatly enjoying himself with his friends, and they were drinking coffee, and he realized that this was the first time he experienced something like this, and suddenly they heard the fire alarm on the floor where the girls were. So they quickly got up to save them, but found the situation very dangerous, and Yuya ran toward the elevator, and asked the employee, did 3 girls come down from here? So he told him no, and Kade called Ryo and spoke with a voice on the verge of fainting, and told him, sorry we were late getting out. So Yuya ran at maximum speed toward the upper floor through the smoke, and breathing was extremely difficult. And he found a huge fire and it was impossible for him to enter it without using his magic, so he covered his whole body with water so he could enter through the flames. And he ran at maximum speed and searched for the girls and found them unconscious beside the elevator. And when he reached them he used the search skill in order to see whether there was anyone else on the floor or not and found nobody except them. So he carried them and surrounded all of them with water, but worried that his magic would fail him while they were inside the flames, and despite that he continued running, because it was the only solution, and he found a dead end and suddenly the ceiling broke and Yuya avoided it, but Kari's pin that he brought her fell, so the only remaining path was downward, so he used magic and broke the floor and descended one floor after another with all his strength. And on the other side Shingo was extremely worried about them, and shouted at the firefighters, because they could not enter to save them, and suddenly they found Yuya breaking through the building and coming out carrying the three girls, and he reassured them that they were okay and Ryo shouted at him because his recklessness worried them greatly, so he apologized to them, and after that the firefighters scolded him for what he did, and Kori's father arrived and thanked Yuya for saving his daughter again, but it was difficult to hide the way he saved them, and he avoided answering in every possible way, and he gave Kori her pin that fell from her. And Kori cried in her father's arms. And Yuya returned home while thinking about the subject of family, and that he never experienced the feeling of having a family that loved him, and he opened the door and found Night jumping on him, because he had been waiting for him. And on the next day Yuya thought about the words that he read in the sage's book about imagining magic, so he tried imagining a certain place, and using magic and a portal opened before him, and transported him to the place that he imagined. So he became very happy and told Night the matter depends on imagination, so I will not be able to go to places that I have never visited before. But by using magic like this while I am on the trip I can return home and make food. And after that Yuya and Night went to a cave, and found some weak ogres there and defeated them easily. And luckily they found a lot of loot, and when they left the cave Yuya told Night let's stop at this point. So Night became upset and Yuya comforted him, and told him do not look at me like that, I want to explore more with you. But I have to go prepare for the school trip. And suddenly Night ran toward the forest, so Yuya ran after him to see what was happening. And then Night stopped in a place, and when Yuya spoke he barked to silence him. So Yuya whispered and hid himself and slowly approached. And then he saw an injured girl with a group of ogres in front of her. So Yuya stood up to save her, but Night stopped him. And the ogres attacked the girl, but she had prepared a trap for them and appeared behind them and eliminated them. But Yuya did not understand exactly what she did, and after that a group of ghouls appeared and jumped at her with their swords. But the girl stopped them with extremely strong threads. And suddenly a ghoul appeared and struck her, sending her crashing into a tree, and she was about to lose consciousness. And here Night made Yuya interfere and stop them. And quickly the two of them exterminated all the monsters before them, and the surprise was that a larger number of monsters appeared. So Yuya pulled out the new whip that he found and attacked with it, and discovered that the whip grabbed all the monsters and killed them. And he could not find anything else to do with the girl, except take her home with him, so he would not leave her in a dangerous place like this. But Night objected to letting her pass through the barrier around the house. And suddenly the girl woke up and from the shock hit Yuya and fell onto the ground, so Yuya gave her a dose of the healing herbs, so she could not believe that those herbs even existed, because they were extremely rare and she did not trust him. So he told her I can drink from it in front of you so you can feel safe. So she took it from him and drank it, and she became surprised that all her wounds healed and she no longer felt pain. And then she asked him, who are you? So he introduced himself to her and introduced Night to her, who was very angry at her and did not trust her. So she told him my name is Luna, and he asked her why are you here? So she told him I am in the middle of training, and was attacked by a pack of ogres. And she asked him in surprise where are they? So he told her Night and I defeated them. So she became amazed by them and thanked him for saving her. And after that she asked him why are you here in the darkest regions? So he replied I am training too. And she became surprised because she never imagined that someone would train in a place like this. And she asked him about a nearby river to bathe in, because she could not return to town in her condition like this. So Yuya took out the cube that contained the bath set and surrounded it with a curtain so she could bathe in it. So she told him I cannot believe that you have something like this. You are amazing. And he replied I obtained it from the crystal deer. So she became surprised that he killed a monster like that because it was very strong. So he told her we are both the same, so she said to herself but I came here by a client's request not to train, and she asked him to train with her, and told him there is a reason why I remain here in the darkest regions. And if you are training here then I want to train with you, so Yuya agreed because if he left her he would worry about her. And on the next day, they fought monsters together. And after that, Yuya trained her on some sword movements. And he learned many things from her, so they became stronger and more confident than before. And after that, the three of them fought together, and Luna no longer faced problems fighting elite ogres. And then Yuya told her, "You are very skilled at using that thread." So she told him, "I still have a long road ahead of me before I complete my mission. So I must become stronger." So he noticed that she was very passionate about training, and sadly told her, "But starting tomorrow, I will not be able to train with you anymore, because of the school trip." So she became a little sad, but told him, "There is no problem, you told me from the beginning." And she thanked him for treating her kindly during the entire time that she spent with him. And on the next day, Yuya was on the trip bus, and playing cards with the others, and winning 5 times in a row. But they noticed that he did not sleep well last night. And Yuya apologized to them that he would not continue playing and would sleep. And then he thought about how he won the game many times even though luck decides the result. So he became surprised, because if that was true, then he was winning, because he added many points to his luck stats. So he felt that he was cheating in some way. And when they arrived, Rin woke him up. And they got off the bus and found a wonderful and luxurious building, which was where they would stay during the trip, and Sawada asked them to change their clothes and gather together, and told them that this trip was intended for training and at the same time a competition so they could become the elite of the future, and told them they would spend 1 night and 2 days in the forest. So, Ryu asked her, "What will we do about food?" And she replied, "This mountain has wild mushrooms and edible plants, and there are also fish in the river. But we will let you take some rice with you." So Cade told her regarding mushrooms and plants, "Is it not dangerous to leave the judgment to beginners like us?" So she replied, "Of course. And that is why before you judge and eat, come and show us, and we will tell you whether it is edible or not. And if you get poisoned, our school doctor Yumikawa will treat you." And Yuya became afraid from her terrifying appearance and way of speaking. So Cade told him, "When she is in the infirmary, the entire place feels like it is wrapped in darkness. And if you pass by the room, you will hear the sound of someone screaming." So Akira told them, "If there is a possibility of danger in the food, then we can stay a day without food normally." So the teacher angrily replied, "Do not speak like a coward. This is also part of your curriculum." So Yuya asked her, "You mean by competition that there is a reward?" So she told them, "Believe it or not, but this will affect the evaluation bonuses of your private teachers. Meaning your teachers' lives are at stake." So they became surprised that all of this was actually for the teachers and not for them. And when they went out into the forest, Cade asked, "What are we going to do now?" So Yuya told them, "I have never used a fishing rod or a tent before." So Akira spoke with showing off and unreasonable confidence, "Do not worry if we focus on the matter. Then fishing and gathering plants will definitely be easy." So Rin told them, "Aside from this idiot, it would be better if we divide the tasks. Yuya and Cade will go fishing and I and the idiot will search for mushrooms and plants." And they left Akira behind and departed. And Yuya and Cade arrived at the lake and found all the teams there. So Cade asked him, "Are we going to give up on fishing?" So Yuya used the search skill, and told her, "No, I feel that there is a good secret place." And when they went there, Cade became amazed that there were many fish, and asked Yuya, "But would it not be difficult to use a fishing rod? And the water depth is shallow." So he told her true and entered the water himself, and noticed that the fish were not as fast and agile as the monsters of the other world. And he remembered when Luna told him, "It does not matter for someone strong like you, Yuya. But monsters are living creatures too, and if they become afraid of us humans, then sometimes we can read their movements." So Yuya tried to read the fish's feelings and keep up with their movement. And quickly, he caught the first fish. So all the students became shocked and Yuya continued catching fish, and everyone was shocked by his fast reflexes and thought that he was not human. And Cade called out to him and told him, "Enough, we will not be able to eat all of that with just the 4 of us." So he told her, "Sorry, I found the matter fun." And on the other side, Luna tried her thread on rocks and noticed that it became sharper. So she thought that this was because of the training with Yuya, and said to herself, "I lived as a hired assassin since childhood. And my hands are stained with the blood of the people I killed, but Yuya is different. If I had met him long ago, I would not have become like this. But no, I am a professional assassin now and a member of the Dark Guild, the woman known as the Head Hunter. And because of that, I must say goodbye to you, Yuya." And at the same time, Yuya and Cade returned to Rin, and Cade told her, "Look, Yuya caught all these fish with his hands." So Rin became amazed by his physical fitness. And Yuya noticed that Akira was on the ground, so he asked Rin what happened to him. So she told him, "Leave him like that, it is normal." So Akira stood up and told her, "You are cruel, after making me do all the difficult things. The matter was nice at the beginning and we were gathering mushrooms and vegetables together. But I did not realize that you sent me to the cliffs to gather plants, and made me distract the bears, and forced me to try the mushrooms and see whether they were poisonous or not. So Yuya became surprised that he tried the mushrooms and examined his body to see whether there were any toxins or not, and luckily he found nothing, and told him do not do something reckless like that again. And after that Yuya removed the dangerous toxins from the things that they gathered using the skills of the other world, and asked them by the way who will cook. So all of them looked away, and he understood that he would be the one cooking, and they decided to go to Sawada so she could evaluate the food first. And in the building Yuya saw Kari and greeted her, and then her team called her so she said goodbye to him and left. And Sawada arrived and looked at the food, and became amazed that they gathered a large amount unlike the rest of the teams, and told them you are the only ones who managed to gather food that is all clean and edible. And she said to herself slyly now I became closer to getting my bonus raised, and told them but do not slack off. Your cooking will also be evaluated, and asked them who will cook so all of them pointed at Yuya, so she told him do your best for my sake. Your teacher's bonus depends on you. So he replied in surprise could you at least hide your motives a little. And at night Yuya cooked while all of them watched him, and were amazed by his cooking skills, and when they tasted it they became silent. And Sawada entered to them and became surprised by the amount of food that he cooked, and tasted it so she became silent too and Yuya became worried. And suddenly all of them said delicious at the same time, and praised him very much. And Sawada told him every day we eat first-class cooking but your cooking is much better than it. So Yuya became happy that he managed to make everyone around him happy. And after that Yuya returned home with teleportation magic and made food for night, and told him that he was very happy when he managed to make everyone around him happy with his cooking. And on the next day all the teams found that the food they gathered was stolen and chaos was everywhere around them. And luckily Yuya found all their things safe. So Rin told them come on, let's go gather food for breakfast. And Akira was standing looking at huge footprints. And Rin called him so he went after them, and did not tell them about the footprints that he saw. And they went to search for edible mushrooms. And Yuya noticed that Akira was standing scared so he looked and found claw marks from a monster on a tree. So Yuya remembered when Akira told them that Rin made him distract the bears and lead them away, so he understood why he was afraid, and looked around and found broken trees. And suddenly a bear appeared and Rin and Cade screamed, so they all ran away while the bear chased them. One of the teachers told them run away quickly until you find a place that protects you from the bear. And the others hid behind the teachers, and suddenly Sawada stood in front of the bear, and before it cut her quickly Yuya grabbed its hand, and avoided its other hand and tried to move it away from Sawada. So Yuya lifted it and slammed it onto the ground, and everyone was shocked by what they were seeing. And Yuya was not paying attention to those around him, and asked Sawada are you okay? So she told him I am supposed to scold you for facing a bear alone, but if you had not interfered I would be dead now. Thank you. And then Yuya asked them what will we do about the bear? So Yumikawa approached and told them let's give it this medicine. So they stopped her so she would not kill it. And Kari entered to them and told them this bear will become a guard bear instead of a guard dog and the facility will take care of it. And I took permission from the academy and the local authorities so there is no problem. And if it tries to hurt people again we will cut it apart. So the bear became nervous and afraid from her words. And after the school trip ended Yuya went to the other world, and he and Knight eliminated all the goals that could appear in Lexia's path when she came. And Yuya used a very huge hammer, and brought it down on one of the goals and eliminated it. And Knight pointed at a mask that fell from the goal, so he tried it on, and there was a rabbit watching them, and Lexia and her guards arrived. And Owen asked Yuya, will you come with us to the king's palace? So he told him yes, and he was about to introduce them to Knight, and suddenly Knight jumped on Lexia, knocking her to the ground, and at the same moment a tree fell toward her so Yuya cut it apart. So Yuya became amazed that Knight noticed what would happen and saved Lexia, and Owen asked Yuya in fear what is this dog, so he told him this is an ally do not worry. And more importantly protect Lexia, and asked Knight do you know where the person who set the trap is? So he pointed toward the place, and Yuya hid himself, and attacked the person and the shock was that it was Luna. And Lexia ran toward Yuya, and noticed that he was sad so she asked him do you know her? So he told her yes and Knight became very upset because of her. So Yuya asked Lexia for some time so he could take Luna home and treat her, because he still could not believe that she was a bad person, and Lexia agreed to give him a chance to talk with her. And when they went home Yuya explained his relationship with Luna to Lexia, and then she asked him what was that magic you used a little while ago? How did we move from the darkest regions to the house in a moment? So he replied I tried creating that magic for instant teleportation. So she replied angrily listen, you do not seem to know but instant teleportation magic is a myth. It is magic that only exists in fairy tales and nobody confirmed its existence anywhere. And if they discover that there is a person capable of using it the whole world will turn upside down and a war will happen. Promise me that you will not use it in front of anyone else. So he promised her, and then she told Luna, how long will you keep pretending to sleep? So Luna opened her eyes and told her, you knew from the beginning. So she replied, even Yuya knew, but because he is kind he treated you. And then asked her to tell details about herself. So Luna asked her, what will happen if I speak? So she told her, I do not know, but I want to know more about you. So she told her the matter is ridiculous. Just kill me quickly and finish it. So Yuya told her, I also want to know more about you. And I want to know why you did something like this. So she told them, I was an orphan and ate from the garbage and worked as a thief. And struggled every day in order to survive. And one day there was a person who sheltered me despite my personality, and taught me reading and writing and many other things. And most of those things were related to assassination, because my teacher was a professional in it. So Lexia asked her, is he from the Dark Guild? And Yuya became surprised, so she told him fraud and theft and murder. All these things are done by an illegal organization called the Dark Guild. So Luna told him yes. And like my teacher, I also entered the Dark Guild, and killed many people, and became known as the headhunter. So Lexia became surprised because even she had heard about the skilled headhunter. So Yuya realized why Knight became very angry at her the first time he saw her. So Luna told Yuya, the day I met you I had accepted a mission to assassinate the first princess of the Arcelia kingdom, and the result is as you can see. Do whatever you want. Anyway, the moment I decided to attack the princess I received a death sentence. And since I failed, the guild will send assassins to kill me. So Yuya became upset by her words, so she told him, there is no need for you to worry about me, we trained together for a short time, that is all. So he angrily replied, of course not. It is true that the time we spent was short, but it was very enjoyable for me, and I still consider you a friend. So she told him, but it is too late, my future will not change. So Lexia asked her in surprise, why are you certain that you will die? So Luna replied in surprise, impossible. Surely you will not leave me alive. So Lexia told her, yes. But since we met like this, you must become my personal guard. So Luna became shocked, and Lexia continued, the only ones who know that you attacked me are Yuya and me. And if we cover up the matter, there will be no problem. And if you were the princess's guard, then the guild will not reach you easily. And Luna angrily replied, you do not understand. I am a professional assassin. Meaning a criminal. So she told her, you are very sensitive toward trivial things. Allow me to appoint you. So Luna told her the matter is not simple. And a person like me does not deserve to stand beside a light like you. I killed many people with my own hands and they became stained, and there is no taking back the action. So Lexia held her hand and told her, your hand is beautiful. How is it this soft? So she told her, because of Yuya's bath. And Luna pulled her hand away and told her, that is not what I mean. So Lexia grabbed her and told her, you failed to kill me. And in this moment you lost. And since you lost, you must be disciplined and obey me. I am the winner. From now on you are my guard. So Luna was forced to agree. And on the other side, Owen and the guards in the forest were running away from the ogres. And Luna asked Lexia, are you sure? So she told her yes. And you will call me Lexia too without formality. And then she asked her, did you say something about Yuya's bath? So she told her, listen and be amazed. Yuya has a bath tool, and it not only heals exhaustion, it also recharges magical energy and improves skin and beauty. So Lexia became very excited and asked him to try it. So Yuya agreed, and at night he set up the bath for them in the yard. And suddenly Lexia asked Luna, do you love Yuya? So she became surprised and nervously replied, of course not, we are just friends. And Lexia replied, it seems that you have feelings toward Yuya. But as long as you are only friends, then you do not mind if I marry him. So Luna became shocked and told her no, and was forced to explain to Lexia that she loved training with him, but did not know what else she felt toward him. So Lexia told her, I declare war on you from now on. You may not realize it, but these feelings definitely express love. So this is considered a battle. If I marry him, I will win. So Luna decided to compete as well. And after that they entered the house with Lexia, so Yuya made food and they liked it very much. And on the next day they went to Owen and the others, and Owen became very happy that Lexia was okay. And Yuya apologized to him for disappearing suddenly, and then Owen told him, you did not introduce me to your dog. So he told him, this is one of my family members and his name is Knight. So Owen thanked him for saving Lexia, and then asked Yuya about Luna. So Lexia replied, this is Luna, the hired assassin who tried to kill me yesterday. And from now on she is my personal guard. So all of them became shocked, and Owen and the guards surrounded her with their swords. So she told him, stop what you are doing. So he told her, no, I do not understand what you are doing. So Lexia told Luna, you can defeat all of them. So Luna told her, you are foolish. And Yuya interfered and told Owen, we reached an agreement, and this is with Luna, and she will become Lexia's guard from now on. So he replied, if her goal was murder from the beginning, then this will endanger Lexia's life. So Lexia told him, do not worry about every little thing. If she wanted to kill me, she would have done it yesterday, while she was sleeping beside me. So he became surprised that she slept beside her and lowered his sword. and told them I still do not trust her, but let us lower our weapons for now. And after that Yuya apologized to them that he would not be able to go with them to the palace today, and told them I have a personal matter that I need to deal with. And if we had left yesterday I would have been able to come. So they all became upset but respected that he was busy, and Owen told him when you are free walk on this road, and you will reach a village, and they will guide you on how to go to the royal capital, and they said goodbye to him and left while Luna went with them. And after that Yuya found a wonderful lake, so he decided to bathe in it with night. And suddenly he found beside them a small red pig, and it greeted them. So Yuya discovered that he tamed it, and found that he could develop his skills, and its stats appeared before him, and he found that it was level 490. So Yuya asked him, can you show us your ability? So it used one of its skills on Yuya, and he felt that his body became much lighter. So he became amazed by it, and named it Akatsuki, and then Night brought him a watch to let him know that he was late for school. So Yuya quickly went to school, and teacher Sawada told them this time the competition between the classes would be soccer, and the competition results will affect my bonus. Compete to the death, and the first match between the classes started, and Yuya was the goalkeeper for his class team. But he still did not even know the rules of the game, and the match started and Ryo scored the first goal, and Akira took the ball, and ran quickly toward Yuya and kicked the ball, so he blocked it quickly using instant teleportation, and asked them what should I do after I caught the ball. So Rai told him throw it forward to the players on your team. So Yuya threw it and it entered the opponent's goal, and asked them will it count as a goal. And around sunset a person named Kenji Kurosawa appeared and invited Yuya to the entertainment industry. So he told them no thank you, and all of them became shocked that he refused an offer like that, and Shingo told him if you enter that industry, you will meet famous voice actors and beloved cosplay models. So Yuya told them the truth that you offered something like that to a useless person like me made me happy. But if I decide to do this, I will not be able to quit at any time without a reason. And for me right now, my normal high school life is more enjoyable than anything else. And then Miyu appeared and told her do not pressure him, so they became surprised that Miyu knew him, and Ryo and Shingo became shocked that Yuya had taken pictures with her before. And suddenly they found a flying paper and Kori ran after it, so Yuya caught it and the director took it from him and discovered that there was a sports competition. So he got the idea to sneak into the competition and film Yuya while he was playing, and at night Yuya went to the other world and he and Night fought some undead. And then he decided to go deeper into the forest and found that the atmosphere changed and there were very black trees around him. And suddenly a very huge pig appeared, so he asked Akatsuki, when did you become this size? So he looked behind him and found Akatsuki and realized that this was a giant monster, and it hit Yuya sending him flying. And did not give him a chance to take medicine and attacked him again. And suddenly he heard a voice saying I will help you. And it attacked the pig and slammed it into the wall. And it was the rabbit that had been watching them for a while. And the pig ran toward the rabbit quickly, so the rabbit looked at it and told it disappear and hit it with a very strong strike eliminating it, and after that the rabbit's stats appeared before Yuya, and he found that it was extremely dangerous. And the rabbit sat down and told them show me your kicks, so Akatsuki started and the rabbit told him ridiculous, and then Night and the rabbit told him you still need training, but you have potential. And finally Yuya and the rabbit told him I see talent in you, and it stood up and showed them its kick and pierced through several trees behind each other with it, and made Yuya try it and trained him on it, and then entered a fast clash with him that continued until morning. And after that they returned home and Yuya asked him why are you training me? So he told him because I chose you as my successor. We great ones have a duty to train our students and pass our skills to them. So Yuya became surprised by the words and did not understand anything. So he told him around the world there are people like me carrying the title of the great ones. The planet gives that title to people who mastered their fields. And our mission is to protect this world from calamity. And calamity is part of the negative aspects of this world. And they are beings that gained life from the crystal of malice. And the ones who protect the other living beings from calamity are us. So Yuya asked him, can I refuse this inheritance? So he told him yes. But when the balance of this world collapses and confronting calamity becomes unavoidable, and the more allies we gather, the more lives we will save. And since I do not see limits to the abilities that you possess, I chose you as my successor. So Yuya refused and told him, but I want to become stronger and protect all the people that I met in this world. So the rabbit decided to train him, and told him if you do not like someone doing something for you without return, then teach me how to use magic. The barrier around the house does not allow anyone hostile to pass through it. And since you managed to create that barrier, then you are definitely an amazing magician. And my name is Usagi, so the two of them agreed. And on the next day they started training and we found a giant pig chasing Yuya. And Yuya avoided its attacks and Usagi stopped Night and Akatsuki from interfering. and told Yuya the calamity that we must face is much stronger than this pig. So Yuya used his whip and lifted the pig and slammed it onto the ground, eliminating it, and became very happy that he managed to defeat a monster with power like that. And teacher Usagi said, even though I wanted him to defeat it using only kicks. And after that Yuya became shocked that the monster's rank was SS. So Usagi told him there is a higher rank called SSS in rank X. And our enemies the calamity are even higher than that at rank L, and we simply cannot face them alone. And a screen appeared before Yuya, written on it, your level has increased, and since you achieved a certain level your species will evolve as well. And suddenly he found his body glowing, and Usagi reassured him that this would make him evolve and told him it is very rare for this to happen to a human. And after that Yuya reassured himself that no change happened to his appearance. And on the next day Yuya went to school, and his table tennis match started against an opponent who was very professional at the game. And the opponent started by sending the ball with extremely terrifying speed that Yuya could not see, and told him this is just a greeting from me. And the opponent sent the ball again, and suddenly Yuya hit it with all his strength and it pierced through the table. So Yuya withdrew from the match because he was afraid of hurting someone and killing them. And Kade quickly came and took Yuya to play volleyball with her, because one of the players on her team got injured. So Yuya hit the ball and broke the net, and the ball exploded, and the court floor was destroyed. And after that he heard the sound of someone screaming, and Kaori came out and told Yuya that her tennis teammate got injured, and asked him to play with her instead. So he went with her and Kaori hit the ball and it went outside, and she tried again so the racket flew from her hand. So Yuya realized how her teammate on the team got injured, and Yuya tried to save the situation as much as he could and blocked all the strikes of the opposing team instead of her. And around sunset Yuya left the school and found Kaori waiting for him and told him, come, let's walk together. And told him, as a way of thanking you for saving my match today, what do you think about stopping somewhere? So he told her, there is no need. The moment I am with you, I become happy. And on the next day Kaori was at Yuya's house and got introduced to Akatsuki, and she and Yuya studied because the exams were close, and Kaori helped him in mathematics because he was not good at it, while he helped her in languages because he had the language perception skill. And then Kaori asked Yuya for permission to enter the bathroom, and she went, so Yuya thought that she would not find the bathroom location, so he stood up to see where she went. And Kaori was standing in front of the gate to the other world and looked shocked. So he called out to her before she entered through it, and she told him, I could not find the bathroom, and felt like someone was calling me. So he told her, you may not believe it, but this is a gate to another world, and told her to try passing her hand through the door. So she found a barrier, because nobody could enter except the people Yuya allowed. So Kaori became amazed and asked him, what do you mean another world? So he told her, a world different from Earth, and it contains magic, and he created a ball with water magic in front of them, and told her, besides magic I gained other skills that do not exist on Earth. And thanks to these skills, when the bullies came to our school I managed to stop them. And when the store we were in caught fire I managed to save you all. And he offered to take her to the other world, so she became very excited and entered with him, and indeed found completely different scenery and became amazed by it. So he told her, I met Knight and Akatsuki here, and suddenly Kaori's stats screen opened and she became surprised. So he told her, in this world, there is something called status, and it expresses many statistics through numbers. And Yuya became surprised that her stats were higher than his stats when he first came to this world. So he told her, I came to this world and raised my level. And for some reason I lost weight and gained muscles. And sadly continued, what I mean to say is that I was cheating. I am not the person that everyone would have accepted the way they accept me now. So Kaori told him, I want to see more in this world. So he told her, I want to take you on a tour, but there are monsters in the forest. This house is protected by a barrier around the fence. So maybe another time. So she asked him to promise her, and he promised her and told her, but can you keep the matter of this world a secret between us? So she felt that she became closer to Yuya. And on the other side in the kingdom, Lexia welcomed her father, and the king asked Owen, where is the boy? So Owen apologized to him and told him many things happened, so the plan changed. So he asked him, does the girl who came with you have a relation to the things that happened? So Luna replied, all of this happened because I tried to assassinate Lexia and everything got delayed because of that, and Yuya could not come, but I failed to assassinate her. So the king asked her, in that case, why are you still alive? Failure in a mission is supposed to mean death. And he grabbed his sword and attacked her quickly, but suddenly stopped and told her, I am amazed that you understood the special ability of my sword, the sword of instant severing. So she told him that sword cuts through anything that tries to stop it, and that is why I stopped your hand with threads. So Lexia shouted at the king and told him, what are you doing to my beloved Luna? If you keep acting like this I will hate you. So the king became shocked by the word, and she continued, I am the one who prevented Luna's death, and I am the one who appointed her as my personal guard. "Do you not trust my judgment?" So he told her, "Alright, I understand," and acknowledged Luna as one of Lexia's guards. So Luna released him while the king was still shocked from the words "I will hate you," which struck him like lightning, and he told Owen Luna seems very skilled. So Owen told him she is known as the head hunter in the Dark Guild. So the king became surprised and asked him, "And what relation does that have with the boy who lives in the darkest regions?" So he told him Yuya captured her and took Luna and Lexia to his house in the darkest regions. And Owen realized that he said something he should not have said, and the king became extremely angry. And on the other side there was a disguised person, telling a masked person about what happened in Lexia's assassination attempt. So he told him one of the nobles supporting you contacted the Dark Guild to assassinate Lexia. But the operation failed because of a person from the darkest regions. And after that the head hunter became Lexia's guard. So he became surprised and told him, "What do you mean?" So he replied, "We still do not know. But this person was invited to the royal palace." So he replied, "I think this will overturn the balance for my father and Lexia, and I will become king one day. I just want that to happen early." And he gave his subordinate a crystal ball and told him, "I will give you my secret weapon, the magic ring barrier. Once you activate it, nobody around you will be able to use magic, and it will prevent any outside interference. So the magic users protecting the king will become helpless. The only ones remaining on the battlefield will be the head hunter and Owen and my father and Lexia, so surely you will know how to deal with them, right?" So the subordinate asked him, "But if the worst possibility happens, and we fail, your position will be lost." So he replied to him, "All you have to do then is throw the blame on someone else." So he told him, "Understood, I will throw the blame on the person who will come to the royal palace." So he told him, and then kill him. And on the next day Yuya was in the other world, and the school gave them a vacation as compensation for the ball sports competition. And since the vacation was 3 days, Yuya decided to go to the royal palace. And on his way he found a savage sheep, so he eliminated it with an arrow, and mutton and wool and horns, and a bed dropped from it. So it appeared before him that this was the bed of paradise, which never gets dirty and is very comfortable, and makes whoever sleeps on it wake up refreshed and full of energy. And he reached a strange town and found demi-humans there, and became greatly amazed by their tales. And he decided to go to a place to buy tools from, but he did not have money in this world. So he found a merchant's shop, and presented his personal information to him. So the merchant became surprised by his name, and by Japan, because it did not exist in this world. So he told him, "I have never heard of this Japan before." So Yuya was forced to tell him it is a country on a small island in the east. So the merchant looked at his appearance and told him, "You look like one of the high wolves." So Yuya became nervous and told him, "No, I am an ordinary citizen." So the merchant thought that he was one of the nobles hiding his identity. And Yuya opened his item box, so the merchant became amazed by it. And Yuya took out some Japanese spices. So the merchant became surprised by the beauty of the bottles that the spices were placed in, and asked him in surprise, "Are you really not trying to hide your social status?" And tasted the pepper and told him, "Throughout years I have seen many goods, but I have never seen pepper with this quality in my life," and placed 100 gold coins before him. So Yuya asked him how much are they worth. So the merchant became shocked and told him, "In this kingdom an ordinary family of 4 people can live comfortably for 1 year with 5 gold coins. Meaning you will have enough for a family of 4 people to live 20 years without working," and gave him a guild card so he could trade with him again. So Yuya thanked him, and asked him about the direction of the royal capital. So he described the place to him, and he went to ride the carriage that would go to the capital. And on the next day they arrived, so Yuya became surprised and nervous that he might look strange in the shirt and pants that he was wearing, and entered to meet Owen, and he told him, "I did not expect you to come this early and this quickly." So Yuya asked him, "Where are we going?" And he replied, "The audience hall." So Yuya became even more nervous because of the clothes he was wearing, and because he did not learn any etiquette for dealing with kings. So Owen told him, "Do not worry, this is an unofficial meeting." And the two of them entered and bowed to King Arnold. And then the king asked Yuya, "Are you the gentleman who saved my daughter?" And he told him yes, so he asked him, "And are you the gentleman that my daughter proposed marriage to?" So Yuya became shocked and the king became very angry, so Owen tried calming him while Lexia shouted at him. So the king calmed down and said, "You did not even bring my daughter a gift when you came." So Lexia told him, "What kind of behavior is this that you are using?" And Yuya apologized to him that he had been careless, and thought about buying a gift, and opened his item box, and took out the bed of paradise. So the king misunderstood him and became angry, and Owen tried calming him, and told him Yuya does not know anything about our traditions. So Yuya became surprised, and Owen told him, "Here, when you present a bed as a gift, it means you are asking for marriage." And suddenly masked people appeared and surrounded them. So the king asked them, "Who are you?" So they told him, "You are about to die now, so there is no need to know." So the guards fired arrows at them, but they activated the magic ring barrier, so all the flaming arrows disappeared. So Owen moved with his sword and Luna with her threads, and quickly Yuya and Knight attacked the rest, while Akatsuki healed the injured. So the king became amazed by Yuya because he eliminated all of them alone and only with his fists, and Lexia ran toward him and hugged him, so the king became angry at him again. And Owen found a necklace carrying the royal prince's emblem with one of the assassins. So the king became shocked and went to his room without speaking, and the rumor spread through the palace that the king's son was trying to assassinate him. And Yuya was standing in front of Lexia's room before he knocked when Lexia came out and offered to take him on a tour around the capital. So Luna appeared and asked her, "Do you really think you can do that under the circumstances we are in?" So Lexia replied, "We already know that my older brother is behind what is happening, and he will definitely prepare another trap for us." So Luna asked her in surprise, "And you want to reveal your location to him? Or is this just an excuse and you want to go out with Yuya?" So she told her, "Yes, that is natural, and I am sure that Yuya also wants to go out." And Owen entered to them, and Luna told her, "You stay in the castle, and I will take Yuya on a tour." So she replied, "I definitely will not let you carry out your plan. You want to be alone with Yuya." So Owen told them, "Both of you stay, and I will take Yuya on a tour." So both of them shouted at him. And Yuya and Luna and Lexia went down together while Owen guarded them from afar. And on their way they attracted attention because of their beautiful appearances. And on their way Yuya saw the Adventurers Guild and felt curious toward it. So Luna told him, "Come, let us register you as an adventurer. And the Merchant Guild card you have is enough as identification. And if you register with the Adventurers Guild you will be able to buy and sell monster materials. And you can do quests to earn money." And Luna headed toward the guild and told him, "I will register with you." So Lexia became upset and told her, "No, you are my personal guard." So she replied to her, "I am not with you all day and I want another way to earn money. If you object, then why do you not come with us, Princess Lexia?" So Lexia became upset and entered behind them, and told them, "I will not allow you to be alone together." So Luna told her, "Do not worry, I am sure Yuya will be busy and we will not be able to accept quests together." And Emilia, the guild employee, placed the registration papers. And Yuya wrote his information until he reached the magic that he could use, and decided not to write all the things he could do because the sage warned him about people's fear, so he wrote only fire and wind and water magic. And after that there was a section called amount of magical energy. So he asked Emilia and she told him, "We will use a crystal ball to measure your magical capacity." So he asked her, "Can I not use the number written in my stats?" So she told him, "Some adventurers try to hide things. And to avoid false reports we use the crystal, because its color changes according to the person's magical capacity." And Luna placed her hand so the crystal color changed to yellow. And Yuya placed his hand after her and suddenly the crystal exploded. So Emilia became surprised that he had enough magical energy to break the crystal. So Yuya became nervous and asked her, "Should I pay you for it?" So she told him, "There is no need, you did not break it intentionally," and looked at his paper and saw that he used 3 magic elements. So he became surprised and asked her, "Is that something strange?" So she told him this is a myth and only fictional characters can use that number of elements. And Luna told him that using magic in the first place requires a special ability, so he became embarrassed and said to himself, "Good thing I did not write more than that." And Emilia brought them the Adventurers Guild cards, and told them, "Since you registered now, then you are rank F." So Yuya asked her, "Is there a minimum number of quests that I must do?" So she told him, "No, the matter depends on the adventurer. But if the adventurer completes more than a certain number of quests, he receives a reward," and told him, "Be careful in plant gathering quests not to harvest all of them. Because if you leave them they will grow again. And regarding hunting quests, you must present a piece from the monster as proof that you defeated it. And the guild does not allow fighting between adventurers." And then Yuya and the others went to look for a quest to do. And suddenly a girl appeared and approached Yuya and told him, "I want to get closer to a strong person. And you broke the crystal a little while ago and were amazing," and then told him, "I am Glina. If there is a chance maybe we can take a quest together another time." And after that they went on a plant gathering quest. And thanks to Yuya's appraisal skill the matter was easy for him, and he was almost doing the same thing every day in his garden. And suddenly Owen arrived on a horse, and told them we found the prince's location, and asked Yuya to help them with his strength in capturing him. And Yuya rode with him, and he and the guards departed. And around sunset they arrived at the house where he was hiding, and the moment they opened the door an arrow came out and struck one of the knights. So Yuya and Owen entered and found the prince taking one of the nobles hostage. So Knight attacked him quickly and saved the noble. So the prince attacked him, but the guards surrounded him, and the noble escaped from the house. So the prince became angry and broke everything around him, and threatened them that if they approached he would kill himself. and told them in the end if I die nobody will be sad for me anyway. So Yuya moved quickly and grabbed his hand, so the prince tried to wound him with the knife but Yuya avoided all his movements. So Knight jumped on him and distracted him so he tripped over Akatsuki, and suddenly a very powerful wind blew and a girl appeared, and the prince told her you came. So she told him you failed and I no longer need you. Your plan was insufficient, so he asked her in surprise you were going to make me take the throne and gain high status for your own sake. So she replied no, the real plan was to make you king so I could create a multi-front war and kill the largest possible number of humans. So the prince became shocked that she deceived him. So she told him I am no longer interested in you and grabbed the knife to kill him. So Owen ran toward her to stop her, and suddenly an arrow flew and struck his sword. So Yuya thought that there was someone else in the place besides her, and suddenly an endless number of arrows appeared, and Owen said you villains. What is your goal? So she told him I am here alone and all this attack is from me. So Yuya asked her and why are you doing this? So she told him the goal is the destruction of humanity, and launched the arrows at Yuya so he used wind magic and pushed all the arrows away. So Owen said you saved us Yuya, and when she heard his name she said how lucky that I met you. But unfortunately I did not expect it. And if you possess the strength that I heard and saw then I must use the power of calamity, but I exhausted all my energy in this battle so we will retreat temporarily, and she disappeared. And they returned to the royal palace and Yuya was sitting upset and thinking about the matter of calamity, and Owen entered and told them we are about to discuss how we will deal with Prince Rhaegar, and we want you to attend with us. And when they entered the audience chamber the prince was extremely angry while the guards were holding him. And they removed his mask so Lexia and Arnold turned their eyes away from him. And Yuya and Luna were shocked that his whole body was covered with burns and scars. And Rhaegar said to the king, why are you turning your face away? And asked Lexia, what is that look in your eyes? Is that a look of pity? Who do you think caused this? And told her I became like this, because I got caught up when you lost control of your magic. So the king replied, do not speak such nonsense, his wounds were supposed to have healed. So he told him yes, but I was affected by her magic and went insane and a strong urge for destruction grew inside me. And in the end the only way to stop that urge was destroying my body. And my father was supposed to know my suffering, and yet he did nothing. So the king replied angrily, you are wrong. We can consider your condition a curse. What could I have done? So Rhaegar asked him in denial, and because of that you isolated me, and told him I was exiled from the palace and lost my ability to suppress my destructive urges toward Lexia and became hopeless, hateful and insane, an unsuitable first prince for the throne, and my existence was erased from the royal family, and you did not even treat me like a human. So Yuya felt upset for him, and Rhaegar told them, and now there is no purpose left in my life. Kill me quickly. So Yuya raised his hand and told them there is something I want to try, and opened the item box and took out a healing herb potion, and made Rhaegar drink it so all the scars and burns on his body healed, and his face returned to normal again, and all of them became shocked. So Rhaegar looked in the mirror, and could not believe it. So Yuya told him I do not understand what is happening, but if the scars were the reason then I have healing medicine made from the healing herb, and all of them were left speechless and unable to believe what they were hearing. So Yuya remembered that it was written in the healing herb description, that it was legendary and difficult for anyone to find. So the king thanked him for using something very rare like that for his son. So Yuya told him it is fine, I have plenty of it, which shocked the king even more. And suddenly Rhaegar laughed and told them even if my wounds healed I still will not avoid the death sentence. So Lexia asked the king what crime did my brother commit. So he told her attempting to assassinate you. So she told him then I forgive him. So the king became shocked and Rhaegar replied angrily the matter is not that simple. So she told him no, it is that simple. I am the victim and I am the one who decides whether to forgive you or not. And shouted at the king and told him we are also at fault. So you will forgive him just like me. So the king was forced to agree, and looked at Rhaegar, we do not need to say more than that. For me I want to become your friend again. So Rhaegar cried and his punishment became losing his nobility and the lands he owned. And then Rhaegar thanked Yuya for saving and healing him. And after that the topic shifted to how they could reward Yuya for everything he had done until now. So Rhaegar suggested to the king that he give Yuya all the lands that were taken from him. And with that Yuya became one of the nobles and obtained the title of knight. And Yuya returned to his room and slept from extreme exhaustion, and saw a nightmare involving the girl from Calamity, so he woke up startled, and on the next day he went to school, and when class ended Ryo and Shingo told him come let us go home, but he walked away quickly, and on his way he saw Kari, and she told him come let us go out, so he apologized to her and continued running, and remembered when Rhaegar told him yesterday, regarding the girl you saw I do not know details about her. The first time I met her was in the Dark Guild and in the end she was the one who used me. And she seems to be a mysterious and very powerful being. and he remembered when the girl told him you are strong and I must use the power of calamity. So he remembered when Usagi told him that calamity are people carrying the title of great ones as well and opposing us. And they are the crystallization of the negative aspects in the world. And Yuya arrived at the other world and trained with all his strength to prepare for calamity, and suddenly someone attacked him so he realized it was one of the calamity, so he wondered is it the same girl or someone else. So he asked who are you and why are you attacking me? So she replied you are a dangerous existence that may interfere with my revenge plans. So Yuya became surprised but decided to fight and eventually get an explanation. And suddenly arrows rained down on him so he quickly avoided them. And on the other side Cory rang his doorbell and was probably worried about Yuya, and found the door open so she entered, and after that crossed into the other world. And she looked at the fence and remembered when Yuya told her there are dangerous monsters in the forest, and heard sounds of explosions and destruction, and at the same time the calamity was firing her magical arrows at Yuya while he tried to avoid them. And he asked her, is this your revenge? Did I do something that made you seek revenge against me? So she replied there is no need for you to know. And suddenly Yuya appeared beside her and tried to slash her, but she avoided the strike. So he increased his speed with magic and tried again, and this time managed to kick her, while Night caught her and slammed her into the ground forcefully. So she told him amazing, the danger has been confirmed and I must eliminate you, and launched an arrow at him. So Yuya avoided it and ran and suddenly heard Cory calling him. So he tried to move away from her so the calamity arrows would not hit her, and the calamity used the opportunity and approached him and fired a direct arrow at Yuya. And fortunately Usagi appeared at the perfect moment and kicked the arrow away, and then looked at the calamity and called her Yuri. So she asked him in surprise, why do you know my name? So he told her you are the successor of the great archer, who was killed right. So she replied I will avenge my master against the whole world. So he asked her, and do you think that is what he would have wanted? So she told him shut up. What do you know about my master anyway? My master protected humans the entire time but they betrayed and killed him. So he told her protecting the world from calamity is the duty of the great ones and a covenant with this planet. And the archer would have accepted any fate calmly. But breaking the covenant and using great skills the way calamity does is unforgivable. So she told him so what? I inherited skills from my master already, but I did not inherit the title of great one. And I do not care about the covenant. And launched arrows at them again. So they avoided them and Yuya attacked, but she predicted his movements and an arrow descended from the sky and pushed him away from her. So Usagi told Yuya imitate what I did a little while ago. And Yuri launched a magical arrow that generated powerful winds and rocks. So Yuya jumped and shattered the rocks with his kick just like Usagi did, and Night used the opportunity and bit her leg while Usagi kicked her powerfully. And then he told her as one of the great ones I must protect this world, so she asked him why. What value do humans who killed my master have? They corrupt the land and their numbers increase and they wage wars. The answer is they have no value. So he replied you are not the one who decides their value, nor am I. So she replied angrily then I will destroy everything, and black energy emerged from her and Usagi told Yuya look, this is the power of calamity. And Yuri screamed and started bleeding from her mouth. And quickly she entered into a clash with Usagi, and kicked him with a powerful kick that sent him flying. So Akatsuki came out from beneath the invisible cloak and ran toward them, and activated his ability so the calamity power disappeared and Yuri returned to normal. And Yuya used the opportunity and knocked her unconscious. So Usagi told him in this world only we the great ones can stand against calamity, and your pig too. And then he told Yuya I will leave the decision of how to deal with her to you. And do not worry, thanks to Akatsuki's sacred ground ability she will not be able to use the power of calamity anymore, and then left him. And when Yuri woke up he asked her what was your master like, so she told him kind. And he overflowed with love without reason, and then fell asleep again from exhaustion. And Cory approached Yuya and called him, and suddenly a monster appeared behind her so Yuya pulled his spear, and threw it beside her striking the monster, and Cory stood there shocked, and he told her this is another version of what I go through in my daily life. And maybe it was a monster, but it was easy for me to kill. And he became nervous and asked her, are you afraid of me? And told her my level rose in this world. But I cheated. I knew the whole time. Nobody would love the real me. So she replied, no, that is not true. You will never change. And you have not changed since the first time you saved me. So he thanked her, and they returned home, and introduced her to Lexia and Luna, and after that he took Yuri with him to his world, and enrolled her into Osei Academy with him.